Someone, somewhere, tries to log in, but instead of access, they get silence. Flights don't take off. Hospital staff can't open patient records. Entire companies sit frozen, staring at login screens that refuse to respond. Nothing is visibly broken. No explosions, no malware warning, no red screens. The systems are still there. They just won't let anyone in. In part 1, we exposed how the internet relies on fragile choke points most people never see. But one system sits above nearly all of them. Not cables, not servers, not satellites. Identity. The system that decides who is allowed to access the modern world. Signal and Shadow is written and produced by Dennis Lesak. Each episode investigates the hidden systems that quietly shape our digital world, the infrastructure we depend on, the vulnerabilities we rarely see. New stories are released weekly. Now back to the investigation. When people think about internet failure, they imagine destruction, servers crashing, networks collapsing, data wiped out. But modern outages don't work that way. Today's most dangerous failures don't destroy systems. They deny permission. Identity and access management systems decide whether you're allowed to log in, open files, deploy software, access medical equipment, board planes, or even clock in to work. They sit quietly above everything else, and if they fail, the system doesn't crash. It locks. To understand how dangerous this is, you have to understand what identity controls now. Your email, your cloud servers, hospital authentication systems, airline crew verification, government workstations, emergency response infrastructure. If identity fails, none of it can be used, even by the people trained to fix it. And here's the part most people don't realize. This wasn't always how the internet worked. 10 to 15 years ago, most systems were local. Authentication happened on-site. Companies ran their own servers. Hospitals controlled their own access systems. Failures were messy, but isolated. Then came the cloud. Around a decade ago, businesses began migrating everything for speed, scale, and cost savings. Identity moved with it. Single sign-on replaced dozens of local logins. Centralized identity replaced fragmented access. Security improved, but resilience quietly disappeared. 5 years ago, the convergence accelerated. Azure Active Directory became the backbone for global enterprises. AWS Identity and Access Management became infrastructure. Google Identity integrated across platforms. 3 companies began controlling authentication for enormous portions of the global economy. Not intentionally, not maliciously, architecturally. And then the failures started. An Azure identity outage locked millions of users out of work systems worldwide. Employees couldn't log in. Admins couldn't override access. An AWS outage disrupted hospitals and airlines. Not because machines failed, because identity verification did. Doctors had credentials, pilots were trained, systems existed. But permission was gone. A Google Cloud routing failure cascaded across major platforms without warning. Applications remained online, but nobody could reach them. In each case, there was no attack, no foreign adversary, no sabotage. Just normal failures inside centralized systems. And here's the disturbing pattern. In every incident, the systems couldn't be fixed locally because local access no longer existed. Identity sits above networks, above applications, above hardware, above human intervention. You cannot fix what you are not allowed to touch. This is what makes identity the internet's biggest single point of failure. Not because it's weak, but because it's everywhere. We didn't centralize identity because it was dangerous. We centralized it because it was efficient. It made security audits easier. It reduced costs. It simplified management. And in doing so, it created a quiet fragility. One decision layer, one permission system, one invisible gatekeeper. If that gate closes, nothing else matters. No backups help, no redundancy saves you, no emergency plans activate. Because access itself is gone. And the most unsettling part, this isn't theoretical. It has already happened. Multiple times, at small scales. Each incident resolved, each outage explained away. But the architecture remains, and it's growing. As identity systems merge with payments, healthcare, transportation, and government services, the question becomes unavoidable. If access can be revoked instantly, who decides when the lights go out? And what happens when the system that controls permission loses permission itself? That's where the next investigation begins.